What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk about some free agents. Right, we're obviously way past free agency. We're in the training camp here, but there are some questions about something the Colts may do. Right, are we ever going to get somebody to fill that other safety spot opposite of Julian Blackmon? We mentioned it yesterday as we talked about Juju Brents and him being a breakout candidate. We talked a little bit about the whole secondary and kind of mentioned it. So I want to go ahead and talk about this because things have happened, right? Jamal Adams gets signed to the Texans, I believe. The Texans have also signed Cam Akers, so there's that. They continue to stack names, right? That seems to be what they're doing, is just stacking names. Will it all work out for them? We'll see. But they continue to stack names. But then the other safety that got signed was Eddie Jackson. And as I sit here, I'm not going to lie, I can't remember exactly where he signed, but Eddie Jackson is off the market. And that still leaves the guys that we've talked about, the guys that Colts Nation wants. And honestly, I think one of these guys is more likely than the others, right? And obviously the guys we're talking about are Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs is interesting because there was a post on Twitter just a couple weeks ago where I believe it was Kenny Moore. It may have been somebody else. I think it was Kenny Moore. Something got posted about him on Twitter, maybe some highlights or something. I'll go find the video and I'll post it here. Whenever I do find it, I'll post it here so you can see it. Like, there's been different things throughout this offseason that link Quandre Diggs to the Colts. And the question is Quandre Diggs, is there just an understanding? Like, Quandre Diggs isn't going to sign right away in training camp. He doesn't want to go through the entire training camp process. He just wants to be there, maybe a week before the preseason games, start to get acclimated, and then just work his way from there. I don't know how they're going to want to do it. But I think Quandre Diggs, and I think there's a good chance he gets signed to the Colts, right? There's been little things. Now, this all is dependent on whether or not they really are going to just ride out with the young guys in the secondary. Is that what they want to do? I have been on record saying, and I will say again as we get here into this season, if Nick Cross is a starter at free safety, I'm okay with that. More than okay with that. Julian Blackmon, Nick Cross, give me that all day long. I'm cool with that. Okay, but for the situation that it is, if they want an experienced guy and if they do want to bring in a free agent, Quandre Diggs seems like the most likely. With everything that's been out there publicly, again, the commenting and the retweeting of different Colts players at different times in the offseason, different things that have come out linking Quandre Diggs to potentially talking with the Colts about signing at some point in the offseason. I think it's possible. There really hasn't been anything like that with Justin Simmons, which makes me think his price is probably too high for the Colts, right? And when you look at what he was making last year, Justin Simmons at $15.25 million, and Quandre Diggs at $13 million. So it seems that right now, you would just expect that Justin Simmons, his value is just a little bit higher, which might be the reason Colts want to go Quandre Diggs instead. Now, there's also other guys, right? Micah Hyde, Tracy Walker, Javon Curse, Adrian Phillips, Tashawn Gibson, Kareem Jackson, if that's what you're into. Keanu Neal, who was really good when he was younger, but injuries have kind of taken control of his career at this point. And then Adrian Amos. And a lot of these guys, like, these are older guys. These are guys that probably don't want to be involved in an entire training camp, which is why I think they're all sitting here. So when I look at it again, Quandre Diggs seems like the guy. Justin Simmons, if we got him, of course, with everything that he's been able to do in his career, I'd be fine with us making that move and bringing him in. I think he'd be really good. But for all intents and purposes, it seems like we're either going to have Nick Cross at starting free safety or Quandre Diggs. I think that's really the conversation at this point. Is it going to be which one of those guys? Is it going to be maybe Rodney Thomas comes in with the upset of the century and somehow wins the job back if that happens? And boy, was I and other people really wrong about Nick Cross, right? But I don't expect Nick Cross to lose the job to Rodney Thomas. I just don't. Rodney Thomas had 2 seasons, had a lot of inconsistencies. It's time for him to bounce. It's time for us to see what Nick Cross is about, or Quandre Diggs. So you let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to roll with Nick Cross? Should we just roll with Nick Cross and keep that extra cap space available in case we want to make a move in the middle of the season? Or should we just go ahead and bring in Quandre Diggs? Should we go ahead and bring in Justin Simmons? You let me know down in the comments section. I'd love to know what you think about this situation. And of course, make sure you subscribe with notifications on as we have more training camp updates coming out. We have a lot more content coming out with more breakouts. We're going to talk about the rookies at some point. So plenty of content coming. Subscribe, have notifications on. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.